A small earthquake in central New Jersey shook some people awake early this morning.
Officials located the center of the quake in the town of Bernardsville, but people in neighboring Morris and Somerset counties felt the tremors. CBS 2's Andrea Grimes has more.
In the middle of the night, we both looked at each other like, what the heck was that?
Danielle Carlson and her husband had no idea at first an earthquake woke them up, hitting their town of Bernardsville, New Jersey.
We thought the bed was going to go through the house. That's what we really thought, actually.
The U.S. Geological Survey confirms a small 2.7 magnitude quake struck just about 2 miles north around 3:30 a.m.
It was just kind of like a thunderclap. More of a rumble. You know, I woke up because the windows were shaking.
As my wife and I were having coffee this morning, I said, I think I had felt something, but she slept through it. And
I didn't realize. I woke up and I felt like the house had cracked. And then sitting there, I'm like, that felt like an earthquake.
Yeah.
Authorities here in Somerset County and in neighboring Morris County say several residents called police to report rumblings. Officials say no one was injured.
There was no reports of damage. However, about an hour later, we did have a transformer fire. But we don't know if that was related to the earthquake or not.
Jersey Central Power and Light says the issue knocked out power to about 40 customers this morning. As for the earthquake, local barber Art Liardi is glad it wasn't worse.
I went around, I checked my house, I went downstairs, I woke everybody up, and everything was fine.
Although rare, earthquakes in the area are not uncommon. A few small ones happened here back in 2010. Reporting in Bernardsville, New Jersey, Andrea Grimes, CBS 2 News.
All right, let's bring in Lonnie for more information on that earthquake. Lonnie?
Well, you know what, guys, when you think about an earthquake in this country, you think about the San Andreas Fault, right, out west. But here in our area, small earthquakes are actually really common. I'm talking smaller than what you had today. Most of them just can't even be felt because our area actually rests right on a fault line. You take a look at where the earthquake hit today, right there in Bernardsville. Well, the bigger picture will show you it's the Ramapo fault line that runs basically right through Bernardsville. And this fault line continues all the way down. It's kind of like a tributary right into the East Coast fault line, feeds down into the New Madrid fault line, and then off to the west is where you'd find the San Andreas fault line. So you don't get the big ones in this area, but they happen pretty regularly. It's just that you can't feel them out there today. Again, there's a little bit bigger than a 2.3. It's hot and humid tomorrow. PM chance for a little bit of wet weather out there north and west, but for the most part, you have a good-looking day. But notice it's going to get hot. First 90-degree day could be a string of them coming up. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. Dick and Alice, over to you guys.
All right, Lonnie, thanks.
Sleepy Bernardsville, shaken awake, 3:40 a.m., a 2.7 magnitude quake. Folks in several surrounding towns heard it and felt it.
I have a 17 and a 16-year-old, two boys. The 16-year-old came running into my room before I even got out of bed. And my 17-year-old, who is like Rip Van Winkle, he was sitting up in bed. What happened? I knew it was something big, but I never thought. We were trying to figure out all night long, my wife and I, what the heck it was.
911 switchboards lit up. People reported hearing an explosion. No bomb, no disaster, no damage, just a little seismic activity near the Ramapo Fault. In Bernardsville, Sean Adams, WCBS News Radio.
Mystery boom mistaken for small earthquake, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, August 14, 2015. This is not the first time a mystery boom was mistaken for a quake in this area. Quote, expert, very small earthquake likely struck Lancaster County overnight. Some Conestoga area residents heard a boom or thunder-like sound, but it wasn't storming. At least a few even felt the ground shake. Turns out, seismic activity late Thursday night was likely caused by a very small earthquake, an expert says. Charles Scharnberger, Professor Emeritus of Earth Sciences at Millersville University, measured the magnitude of the suspected quake at just 0.8 magnitude on the Richter scale. One person from Conestoga called 911 shortly after 10 p.m. After hearing it boom and feeling a little bit of shake in the ground, a dispatch supervisor said. No injuries were reported and no one else called 911 with any similar reports. The Millersville seismograph showed seismic activity occurred shortly after 10 p.m. Thursday, as well as at around 3:40 a.m. Friday. Scharnberger said the latter activity was from a small earthquake that struck in central New Jersey. The U.S. Geological Survey confirmed a 2.7 magnitude earthquake rattled homes and businesses in Bernardsville, New Jersey, at 3:41 a.m., was reported, and quote, That was also a mystery boom, as you saw from the previous report, quote, that couldn't be felt in Lancaster County, but Monday night's activity could, he said. Solango School District spokesman Keith Kaufman lives south of Willow Street and said he and his son that night heard a very distinct rumble like thunder. But the skies were clear and conditions were nice. They did not feel the ground shake. John Johnson of Millersville looked up the seismic activity on the Millersville University online site after his daughter and a friend said they heard a loud boom and felt something. Others also reportedly noticed the small earthquake. According to news reports, minor earthquakes are not unusual in the county, Scharnberger said. The 72-year-old started at the university in 1973 and retired in 2003, but he still operates the seismograph station at the university as a volunteer. There have been dozens of minor quakes here since a significant 4.1 magnitude earthquake struck Martickville on Easter Sunday on April 22, 1984, he said. The two most active earthquake areas in the county through the years have been Conestoga and from East Petersburg to Landisville, Scharnberger said. Several have occurred in the Conestoga area, but like all earthquakes on the East Coast, experts don't know why. There are no faults that can be shown to be active, he said. It is a puzzle why we have earthquakes in the East. A report of a possible earthquake a week ago turned out to be a blast at a quarry, Scharnberger said. It's possible work at a quarry could trigger a small earthquake, he said. But that wouldn't explain earthquakes in Conestoga, as no quarry has operated there since the Safe Harbor Dam was built nearly a century ago. Small earthquakes have been shown to correlate with exceptional rainfall events, but he said there haven't been huge rains this year, end quote.